this question, we are asked to find the inverse of a logarithm function. Find the inverse of the function f from 2 to infinity to r of fx equals log base e of x take 2 plus 4, and state the domain and range of the inverse function. Because we need the domain and range of the inverse, let's find or state the domain and range of this first. So f of x has domain. Now we're given the domain, it's 2 to infinity, and its range, well, all log graphs, unless they've been restricted in some way, have range of r. Now we need to find the inverse of it. To find an inverse, we swap x and y, but there's no y mentioned anywhere here, so I'm going to say let y equal log base e of x take 2 plus 4. And then I will swap x and y. So x equals log base e of y take 2 plus 4. Now we'll go over the page. I'll move the 4 over. To give us that. And now I need to rearrange the log into an exponential statement. The base is e, the power is x take 4, and the answer is y take 2. I've almost got y on its own, I just need to add the 2 to the other side. Now that is the inverse function. I can't leave it with a y there because there was no y in the question. So I'm going to say that the inverse function of x is e to the x take 4 plus 2. And that's good enough. It's not exactly in the form the function was written, but for our purposes, that's fine. Now for this, the domain and the range are simply obtained by swapping over the domain and range of the original function. So let's remind ourselves what they were. The domain was 2 to infinity, so that's now the range. And the range originally was r, that's now the domain. We swapped x and y, so we must also swap domain and range. You could obtain these from sketching a rough graph of this, but we didn't even need to draw the graph.